The opinions expressed on air are not necessarily those of WHPC, its management, or Nassau Community College.
Responsible opposing viewpoints will be considered by emailing them to whpc@ncc.edu or by mail to WHPC 1 Education Drive, Garden City, New York, 11530.
Thanks for listening to the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 FM, WHPC HD, Garden City, New York. My name is Rob Leonard, and joining me as always is my brother Tim, award-winning sports writer Tim Leonard, as we talk sports every Monday.
Yes, we do.
From 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Lots of things to talk about. We'll be talking with legendary baseball writer Hal Bock, formerly of the Associated Press. He has a new book out called Banned, Baseball's Blacklists of All-Stars and Also-Rans. We'll be talking to him in about 10, 15 minutes. We have a lot of things to talk about. We're also on Facebook, and Tim's angry I'm not making love to the camera.
No, the fact that you're putting the paper again in front of your face. How many times have I told you this?
I
don't know how many times do I have to tell you.
By the way, I have to apologize for last week.
Yeah, please.
Because last week, for those who don't know, my sister Suzanne calls me up and starts screaming at me.
Good.
That I treated my brother badly last week on the air.
Yes, you did.
And I'm not sure what I said exactly. You know, something about punching him in the head, I think it was, or I'd never done that, which is actually a good thing. But my brother got angry.
Which somehow makes you a good brother.
It does, actually.
But
Suzanne called up.
Never punched me in the face.
Screaming. She was screaming.
Good.
Literally
I didn't
screaming
even know she
at me.
did that.
She was literally screaming at me.
Good.
And Mom was too, so that's it.
Good.
She goes, why do you have to talk that way on the air?
Because you deserved it.
No, I didn't. Because I'm a great brother. I've never hit you.
I've never said you weren't a great brother, but you just went off on some absurd tangent last week.
Well.
And the less said about it, the better.
Yeah, so I want to apologize on the air, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Because,
You know, as long as we're talking about how wonderful I am.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
We should mention something that I said last week.
And what's that?
And I wish we had tape to play back. I wish we had that capability.
If you had told me, I would have. We have tape.
Well, I said something about it a couple days ago.
No,
in this hour last week, if you recall, we were talking about
you made a prediction
about the home run derby in the All-Star game.
Prediction that came exactly true.
And I told people, number one, that it was possible for them to win World Series tickets. And I came very close to winning World Series tickets because I was dead on with this home run derby. But I told people, if you remember, brother, in the first round, I told them the key to winning the World Series tickets, pick Gary Sanchez to beat Giancarlo Stanton.
Yes, you did say that.
Now, what happened?
It happened exactly the way you said.
There you go.
So,
thank you very much.
Okay, I'm just saying.
So the only first round duel that I got wrong was Miguel Sano beating Mike Moustakas. I picked Moustakas because I actually know somebody who knows him.
Okay.
So that was my only reason for picking him. Because otherwise I probably wouldn't have picked him. But because of that, then I picked El Gary, as I like to call him, to go to the finals against Judge, which probably was a little Yankee biased on my part.
Of course.
But then Aaron Judge
God forbid
won.
You don't have Yankee bias.
Then Aaron Judge won the home run derby as I expected him to. So, congratulations to Aaron Judge. Well done by him.
Okay.
The hype is real. It's not hype when it's real.
Of course not.
And we need him. By we I mean the Yankees need him to do a little better than the second half start that he has produced thus far.
Hey, what's happened to the Yankees? They were really good, and now
they're fine.
Sliding.
They just split with the Red Sox in Boston, and the reality is they should have won 3 out of 4.
I agree.
We can start with the Yankees.
Yankees are in third place, 3.5 behind Boston, Tampa Bay's ahead by a half game on them.
Yeah, but what's the loss column?
Loss is 44-43. Tampa Bay Yankees have 43. So
yeah, so in reality, the Yankees are ahead of them. So the Yankees are really in second.
And Boston is at first. The Mets 41-48, 13 games back.
Depressing.
Wild card games back 9.5.
Depressing.
The talk is, will they be sellers or buyers in the forthcoming trading deadline?
That's not even a question anymore.
You really think so?
You know what I read in the paper today?
What did you read in the paper today?
Terry Collins. God bless Terry Collins. Because
I agree.
You got to love the guy. You got to love his enthusiasm. You have to love his never quit attitude. No matter how many injuries his team has, no matter how much his players underperform.
A lot of non-thinking fans would like to get rid of Terry Collins. He's not the reason.
He's not the problem, people.
No.
Met fan. I know you're angry, Met fans, because you're perennially angry, but Met fans really
and Yankee fans are perennially arrogant.
Met fans really need to lay off Terry Collins. If you have a better solution at manager, I'd love to hear it. In fact, you can give us a call at 572-7440 if you have a better solution.
I think personally that. Well, let me butt in, Tim.
Butt in, exactly. Good point. Good word. Good phrase.
This isn't a monologue. It's a conversation. I think, though, if the way the team is playing, that at the end of the season he might be gone. You're not going to get rid of him right now.
No,
I think maybe at the end of the season.
Getting rid of him right now would be absolutely stupid. That's really saying that we have no shot this season. But if first of all, I don't even know who you'd replace Terry Collins with. Secondly, if you're going to, there's not a chance of that happening. There really isn't.
I know.
But the current Met regime, if they decided that they wanted. We talked about this before. The thing that they need to do is fix the health of the team and take care of that aspect of things first. What they really need to do is, look at that part of things and then go from there. Because that's the biggest problem for the Mets right now is what's going on with their health. Why
are they all injured?
And it's been a couple of years in a row now.
Yes.
So, and even when they went to the World Series that year, I was told by a Met fan, and I'm still not sure that this is true, but I'll put it out there that in 2015 that the Mets were injured early in the season.
They were.
So that's the last 2 years it's been an epidemic.
Right.
But the Mets what they need to do is take care of their health first and see where that leads them. So, that's the issue for the Mets as far as I'm concerned. They did take 2 out of 3 from Colorado, and it was encouraging because the first 2 games, 14-2 and 9-3, the Mets actually showed even more than a pulse. They showed some offense, which this team has certainly been somewhat challenged in that area. But then yesterday, Steven Matz was to say Steven Matz was roughed up yesterday would be putting it kindly because he wound up pitching 1 inning and gave up 7 runs on 9 hits. So that's the second consecutive poor performance or poor start for Steven Matz. And when Steven Matz has poor starts, immediately you start to wonder, is he hurt? Because that's his history. So, again, we'll see what's going on with Steven Matz at this point, and hopefully for Met fans he can figure it out. But he's a good pitcher, so he should be better than what he's been the last couple of starts.
Well, we expect more from him also.
True.
That's part of this whole pitching thing with the Mets, where you expect better, and some of them have been good, some of them have been good. There have been times when they went in a streak, so to speak, and then all of a sudden they fell apart. So.
Wow. Good for them for taking 2 out of 3 against Colorado. The Rockies have been struggling a little bit. But, the Yankees, I'm getting back to the Yankees on this because we were supposed to be talking about them.
You're allowed to jump around.
After the All-Star break, it was... they came right out of the gate, and it was the Red Sox. And the Red Sox have played well lately. But like I said, the first game, the Yankees should have won that game. You have a lead. You turn it over to your bullpen. Betances comes out, and he's struggled recently, but he pitched an outstanding inning in the 8th and got it to Chapman, and Chapman just fell apart. He was terrible. He had his control was awful. He threw nothing but fastballs. He was flying open when he was throwing. Everything went in the same place. Everything was high and outside the righties and high and inside the lefties.
Right.
And he walked guys. He gave up hits. He wound up giving up a single to tie the score, and then he walks Andrew Benintendi with the bases loaded to force in the winning run. It was ridiculous. And Benintendi, so he showed what how goofy baseball players are. He walks with the bases loaded. The game is at this point over as soon as he touches first base. But what's the first thing he does? He takes off his ankle guard at home plate. It's like, dude, just bring it to first base with you. I mean, come on. Game's over.
I don't know, man.
So, but that was a game. It's obviously a big game because the Yankees are chasing the Red Sox right now. So, right now, the Yankees, like you said, they're 3.5 games behind the Red Sox. Well, they win that game, and now they're a game and a half back. Right. I mean, that's how big a swing that game is, and that's something you can't.
Well, that's why when you
happen.
play someone within your division, you have to do better. Especially if you're the team that's in the lower part of the division. It's
not even a matter of doing better; it's a matter of not screwing it up. And this is why the Yankees signed Chapman to a long-term deal. Is exactly for moments like that where you need to put that game away. You can't have him come in and struggle the way he did just to throw a strike.
Right.
And Joe Girardi said this after the game because they were talking about hitters, and apparently somebody did some kind of stat crunching that said that Chapman this season has fewer swinging strikes than at any point in his career. But he's still throwing 101.
Right.
But the issue being, and Girardi said this, is that so many guys throw above 95 now that the hitters are starting to get used to it.
Right. It's like being in a tub that's really hot and you keep raising the temperature. You get used to it. It's the truth. That's why I've said
burns are burns.
I know, but you don't feel it. But the thing I've said, and you've laughed at me.
I'm laughing right now.
But I think that the pitchers should actually start pitching slower because the players are so used to the super fastball now that a slower pitch might actually.
Well, yeah, it's called a changeup.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Not everybody can throw one.
Well, you don't throw a changeup. Throw a slow pitch.
It's not easy to control when you're used to throwing a certain way, and if you haven't worked on this pitch, you don't know where it's going to go.
Well, no.
So, I mean, if Chapman just decided to throw 80 miles an hour, I mean, he does throw a curveball,
right?
But if he just decided to just kind of float a pitch up there at 80 instead of 101. Who knows where it would go? And chances are, if the batter recognized it, he would just look at it. Even if it was a strike, he would just look at it. But chances are, it's not going to be a strike. I mean, Chapman would have to work on that for it to be an effective pitch, and I don't see that happening.
Oh, I don't either. But
he's got a fastball and he's got a curveball. That's all he needs. He's not going to work on a third pitch.
Curveball tends to rot your arm after a while, though, doesn't it?
Not really. Not at that level. 12-year-olds, yes. So. That was the problem. I mean, a lot of people were talking about yesterday with last night's game. The Yankees wound up winning the first game of the day-night doubleheader yesterday. CC Sabathia was very good. Only gave up 2 hits over 6 innings. He did walk, I believe, 5 guys, though, which is a little disconcerting, but he pitched well. He didn't give 2 hits is 2 hits. So if you're just walking a few guys, well, all right, you got guys on base, but who cares if you're not giving up hits? So the Yankees won that game 3-0, and then they came back in the nightcap, and most of what people were talking about from yesterday was the catch that Jackie Bradley Jr. made in center field to rob Aaron Judge of a home run out in what they call the triangle in center field in Boston.
Yeah, there's a picture on the back of the Daily News with it.
Yeah, I mean, he went over the wall to take a home run away, but he went over the wall sideways because that's how the wall in center field, for anybody who doesn't know, in that part of Boston, it's more towards right. It's like more towards right center, but the wall in the bullpen goes back across right field, and then it juts almost straight back to center, and
right.
then that's the deepest part of the ballpark. It goes to 420 feet back there, but the ball that Judge hit was long over the fence in front